Time? Yep. Okay, 6 o'clock. All right. Everybody ready? All right, I'm gonna call this meeting to order, 6 PM. Need a motion to approve the agenda.
I so move. Second.
I got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Motion carries. Let's stand up, say pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Public comment, do we have a public comment? If not, then JD will come in.
Good evening, J.D. King, Page County Engineer. It's a fine evening in Page County. The folks in the southeast have had the first day of a new road project
Yeah.
done. Engineer update went out Wednesday morning. Monday staff meeting. So we're out in the blades. They're hauling rock to a stockpile north on Stanton Road that we're shouldering with. And we ran a couple rounds out of Corning rock while they finished the second lift on Teak Avenue as a part of the J55 project. We're mowing with a batwing on the pavements, finishing up a pipe on 200 Street, 10-foot diameter pipe. They worked on the concrete toe wall Tuesday, and project's done. We're probably moving over to X Avenue where they're gonna take out a field entrance bridge, put in large pipe. Did some spot rocking along J64. With the temperatures, we're coming close to the end of the season with the spray patcher. Various services going on in the shop. Winter service continues with the snow plow trucks. Regular service for a motor grader, other vehicles. Still waiting on that planetary front drive assembly for the new Caterpillar. And shop on a truck tractor has been fixed, as I understand. So they finished up the J55 project this week with the second lift of a seal coat on Teak Avenue, and then J55. And we extended that second lift further south to the curve east of Braddyville after we had ground up some of those patches where the contractor was hard on the road. So this should smooth that and make it all uniform, and it was easy to do. It was right there. Project should be complete on Wednesday. It was about noon, and they're gone. The little paperwork for the Essex North Bridge, anticipate start or road closure for that in November. We do have a pre-con scheduled the 9th of October for that project. The next topic about the office move to the annex, I put it on here before I knew it was on the agenda, so I'll just wait till the agenda item to discuss that. Next week's the Mink conference down in St. Joe. As an aside, next weekend, my 5th daughter's getting married. I don't know my availability on Thursday evening. Questions for me?
I had a call on, because of blades being out blading everywhere, it's a dry.
Mhm.
What is the thought on that right now? What are they blading?
If there's any grass that been crept in, right, it's pretty dry.
Well, that guy that called me said it's been 18 days since they bladed it the last time. He's keeping track.
Okay.
So why are they running every 18 days? What would be the reason for that? On the same road, it hasn't even rained.
Don't know.
Well, I just want, I've had a couple different guys call on that, saying, what in the world are they doing out here running it down this road again?
Sure.
As dry as it is, and it hasn't, I don't know, when it's probably not rained for almost a month. I mean, it's been a long time since we've had a real rain. We had a little tenth or two this morning, but I just had a guy call me right before I come in here, so.
Sure.
On the grass, on that thought on the grass, I understand grass been on things, but with winter coming, what is the reason to worry about the grass for winter gets here, if it's gonna die?
Right, but it's also creeping in,
Trying to widen the road or keep it at width.
yes.
I'm having some calls about that, so I wanted to look into that, so.
Do you have any updates on the O Avenue?
The paint, I
Paint.
inquired about the paint this week. Why? He told me last week it was gonna be this week. I inquired this week, haven't heard back. He's not here yet. So maybe he's got one day,
Okay,
but,
we'll stay after him.
yeah.
And something else while you're here, before we go on something else, last week I brought up the end of the meeting. Projects, we've got ARPA money to spend here for the end of the year. Different projects and ideas, we talked about different bridges and tubes and different ideas that we need for infrastructure out in the roads in the county.
You find some money for me? I'll tell you,
Well, I need kind of a list, put together,
Okay.
there's money there. To the tune of several $100,000, so we need to see, put together some ideas you think are good that we can kind of look at,
okay. I'll
and bring them in
some.
here, bring some ideas in.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's see here. All right, there's Jeff, I see him on the computer there. Jeff Samuels, or Jeff Curtis, of Samuels Group, give us an update. Go ahead, Jeff.
How we doing tonight, folks? Good, I hope.
Good.
Awesome. So let's start out with some of the administrative stuff that's going on. Design team is continuing to work on the redesign and the bid documents. Still trending end of the month for getting those out for public bid. We did recently just have a pre-bid meeting for a project over in Council Bluffs. And with that, it's a major HVAC project. We had a lot of contractors there and several GCs at that. So we also have that bidders list that we will be reaching out to when we get this back out for the rebid here towards the end of the month. Out on site, I'm sure folks have been driving by looking at the great work that Justin and his team is doing. As of right now, or end of day tomorrow, the actual building itself, the footprint will be brought up to grade. All the compactions, all the testing is ongoing. We did have a little stint here on Tuesday where some of the soils that Justin's team brought in was a little wet, so they end up just windrowing it, getting it compacted, got it dried out, and then it did meet the necessary requirements for compaction wetness. So again, kudos to his team. They're doing a great job. I was on site doing a SWIP inspection, making sure all those parameters are where they're at. And again, great job on their team. So kind of ongoing stuff that's going on for the next week or 2 weeks. Justin and I had a discussion here on Tuesday. Again, plan is to have the building footprint completed on Friday. From there, we plan on working on the drives, getting those brought up to grade. Estimated duration on that is 3 to 5 days. And then he will finish working on the cuts and fills on the south, working from the north side of the site, going down to the south. Once we get to we'll call a demarcation line where we end up having to bring more fill in, we are gonna hold at that point. We're still waiting for the structures, final approvals and structures to be put into production and get brought on site. Once we do that, we will continue on with the rest of the SWIP measures, then also put in the retention pond with all the associated stuff. And then we'll start working on the sanitary and sewer with the necessary manholes and the rest of that infrastructure. So we should be ready to go there. Justin was visited from Jeff Sherlock from the Secondary Roads Department. Any of the excess soils that we have left on site, instead of spreading those out on site, we're going to stockpile those in the southwest corner of the project. There are a couple of plans, box bridges and box culvert replacements in the county that they can utilize those soils from instead of having to go to other areas to pick those out. So get great communication with everybody. We're going to continue to move, get this project moving. Again, met with the design team, everything seems to be trending, so we'll get this up and running. Quick question, are you guys receiving the daily logs okay?
Appreciate all the
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah, that's nice.
They're really great.
Yep.
So the plan is when I'm not down there taking pictures, Cody, who's up at the prison, will be coming in, also verifying, taking pictures. Justin's taking pictures, working on the daily logs, and then we do the final approvals prior to publishing. And then we will be doing drone flights at least once a week, if not twice a week, as we can see the progress. Then that's also part of the documents. So if you have an opportunity to go on Procore, download that and take a look at the drone, some pretty nice footage there also.
I really like the drone flight.
Yeah.
I made that bigger so I could really see.
Any questions for me right now, folks?
Any questions?
No.
Okay, thanks for the update.
Thanks for the
being
yep.
here.
Alrighty, folks. Yeah, have a great evening now. Take care.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Bye now.
Okay. 7 there, Page County Annex Building, site and accessibility project. We got a kind of a bid from Farnsworth Group to draw up some plans. And looking this over. Just at their first initial, just to kind of get a rough idea, sketch of what we need. They're talking $8,800, and then to design it actually to be what it is, it'd be more. We don't know how much more. My feelings are this is gonna get way too much, way too fast.
And I'm having second thoughts about it also when I look at all the price, the cost.
It's gonna be way too
I'm
much.
thinking about going back to the lift.
Well,
I think the lift would be a lot cheaper, like this at Wabansie. 20,000.
Do we have other people that would give us bids on this? Or is
I
this
think it's
just,
gonna be, the same no matter what.
architects are gonna be high. Now, as far as when we first talked about this, I was not thinking about making this like a great big building project. It'd be somebody throw a retaining wall in there and get a door cut in the wall. So that was just to look at that option, but really all of this, your office you're in right now. Oops,
What was that?
just a cup fell off. I don't think it hurt anything. I can see there's some benefit from being over there maybe, but the office you have now is fine.
No, I don't think so. I still want them to move over there.
Yeah.
Sorry, Corey.
yeah, go ahead, Corey.
Thank you.
Nick Hire, Page County Technician. This $8,800 that is referenced in this proposal, that is to narrow down which path we want to go to.
Mhm.
At the end of that, we will have finalized design plans, and then they will give us the construction costs. I know I spoke with Judy before, worried about drainage issues. Those are things that would be discussed in these meetings along with their timeline, so that this is exactly what we want. We don't have any bells and whistles that are unneeded or anything like that. We can pick and choose and really iron out the details for it.
Mhm.
As your thought of the office that we're in
Mhm.
can do it, and Judy agrees, or Judy said that moving over would be beneficial. In about 3 weeks in October, when we have that pre-construction meeting, there's gonna be 15 people in attendance. And to put 15 people in our office isn't gonna work. I don't
It's a
wanna put
crappy
the,
place.
I don't wanna put the vice president of the contracting.
Well, you're
company
welcome to use this for any time you want. It's only used an hour a week maybe.
My,
But I
What I
see what
would
you're
like-
saying, it'd be handy.
What I would
get it.
like to do is,
Yeah.
since we are done with the J55 project and have not started the bridge project yet, if we could go ahead and get moved over there while we have time and I am available to assemble furniture or set the rooms up, move anything out that needs to be done, if we could go ahead and do that, and we will make accommodations to anybody that has needed them if they come see us.
Well, I think if you want to have a meeting over there, just need some more space next week, you're welcome to go over there.
But I would like,
Pick a
I would
room.
like to move the entire
Oh, I
office
think it'd
over
be
There's
there.
great
even
to go ahead and move it.
I'm talking about a meeting room. Is there a meeting room set up that isn't used that often in
But
the
if he wants to
basement?
go ahead and
That-
move, I think it's great.
That meeting room currently, I'm not sure you could even pull the chairs out. They have stuff boxed in around it.
Well, the whole upstairs is empty. I'm just,
The
there's
the upstairs is not empty.
We just
There is
watched,
two offices upstairs that are completely full of boxes on the south side that we would need to move.
okay, we just
Of-
walked through it a few months ago. There was a lot of rooms that were empty up there, great big rooms.
There were rooms that were empty, but they
Yeah.
were all on the north side of the building and you would have to walk the entire length of the hallway to get to reception.
I don't, you're talking about to pick your room you're gonna be in. I'm not sure where you're going. What do you-
So
what do you-
You're
Upstairs,
talking about
there's
moving
6
the
rooms.
office before we
I'm
ever
just talking about a
vacate
place you
plans.
need to meet next week if you need some
Yeah.
space. That's all I'm saying.
But I'm asking if we can go ahead and move our entire office over there now.
Well, my thoughts are if it's gonna get into a whole bunch of money to do this, and we just watched
I
the
understand.
voters in Page County strike down messing with buildings and money. Do
But,
your have-tos before your want-tos. And so I want to make sure we've got our have-tos done. I get the idea behind it. I'm not
but what's
against,
the matter with them moving over there anyway?
well, if that means we have to get into putting in all
Then
kinds of other
it's,
stuff.
then it's not, they don't have any accessibility
Yeah, we've
on
kind
that second
of
floor,
forced the
right?
issue.
Well, the accessibility would still be there, just accommodations would have to be made if needed.
Well, for the like ADA or whatever, don't you have to have,
Well, if
you can't just have stairs up there?
If ADA is the issue
Everybody's
with us
taking-
moving over there, our office now is not ADA compliant.
That's
There's no
true.
stairs, right?
That is
There's
true.
stairs up the back that you can't get in. Judy could barely move her
Right.
assistants through the front door.
Yeah.
The bathroom doorways are not wide enough.
Yeah.
Our office is, the annex building is more ADA compliant.
And actually, when I went in that building, they carried my walker up the steps, and so people could, you know,
Accommodations were made. to assist
accommodations
you
were
to get in
made to
there.
take it up, yeah. So they could help somebody go up the stairs if they needed help going
So,
up the
and
stairs.
we are losing the nice weather and nobody wants to move in the middle of winter. The timing now seems beneficial to do so.
So if there's no force to do anything else, like they don't
But-
have to do anything.
But if they could go ahead and move, and then we could go ahead and say, put a lift in there for $20,000 instead of doing the other, or do the other, look at the other, whatever we wanted to do, but they would still
Yes.
already be in there.
Yes,
And have a wonderful facility, that would be,
incredibly.
and then we
beneficial
could
to
get
us.
the other one back on the tax rolls.
Yes, and that could.
That would be a
offset-
benefit to the
Selling that
taxpayer.
building or rolling it back into the tax rolls would offset the cost of whatever it costs
Right.
to bring anything in.
Exactly. That's a good idea.
It's
Nick.
much
I
easier
agree
to
with
sell
that.
an empty building than it is one that you can't see walls or have random file cabinets everywhere.
Right, the lift, though, there has to be a hole cut in something. to
No.
get- So you're putting the lift where, in the,
Where the stairway is, it can be put there. The entrance that is, if you do the lift where you come in that front door on the south side, there can be a lift put on there, put there.
But if we put will that lift make the 180-degree corners to access the
It
bottom?
doesn't, it goes straight up. It would go straight up.
That stairway goes,
I know it goes
Up and
up,
then-
it goes up and then it goes
Like a
up,
split
so we'd
level.
have to do something, yeah. 'cause
I'm struggling to figure out how the lift will go straight up and be able to reach the platform and the platform that you. work at.
that I'm not sure about. Yeah. that I'm not
see,
sure
originally,
about.
when they were talking lifts and elevator stuff, they were to cut a hole in one of the downstairs
Yeah.
offices and make it go
Yeah,
straight to the
no.
floor.
Yeah, that was a full-fledged elevator that they were
That
going to
was an
install. I have
elevator,
seen
yeah.
those plans that were previously drawn.
And that
up.
was like $60-some thousand.
Yes. But back to the topic of moving now, and
The lighting over there is fantastic.
yeah, our lights flicker.
Oh
We're
my
having
gosh.
issues with our phone.
I don't think
lines.
it's even safe there. And Corey says the internet is terrible over there, right? in the old in the building where they are now.
It's pretty slow
Oh.
now.
It's spotty.
All about improvement, but that building has worked for how many years? I mean, it has been used for, and how many other people used to work in there? There used to be more people working in there, is that right? How many more?
1,
Two
2,
more? I mean, so I mean, this is
One.
not, you're not in a yard barn. I mean, it's working. I understand getting more space. But, and it's not a bad idea, maybe all around. I just don't want to spend much money on this, so.
I mean, the
myself.
only thing that would need to be purchased right now would be, I spoke with Corey, we would need phones for our offices upstairs and office furniture that is more ergonomical and practical than what we have now. My desk right now is stacked up on 2x4s. I have bruises on my knees. I run into it every day. I get cramps in my backs from hunched over that short desk. I did a rough shopping trip to see what kind of new furniture prices would be for the amount of desks, office chairs, and a conference room table, and a few chairs for that. It's less than 10,000.
Do you have a layout in mind for that upper floor? Are you taking the whole upper floor as for the engineering
No,
offices,
currently,
or
so,
what's the
if you
plan?
remember back from your tour, when you get to the upper floor, right at the top of the stairs, that big room straight across the hall.
Okay,
That will be conference room and our long-term storage for filing. And, we can have our safety meetings in there. Currently, we're having our safety meetings in the shop bays down at the shop, and we have to talk over air compressors and sit on random chairs that are taken out of decommissioned trucks. So that would be nice to have a room where we can do our training, our safety training, and have pre-construction meetings and pre-pour meetings and any other meetings that we may not need to have with contractors and so on. As you travel down the hall, there is the first office on the right. That is the office that we were going to use for the office manager reception area. She would have her storage and keep track of her records in that room. The very next room on the right would be JD's office, right there next to her. He can have his office and his files as a need. Across the hall is the bathrooms. The next office on the left would be mine and the weed commissioner's office, and we would share that. The storage that public health is currently using are what we plan for the office manager and the engineer's office. There's umpteen million boxes in there of old nitro gloves and different things from COVID still left over. My plan is to move all of that into the great big room that's the last on the right for their storage.
so that's
And then there will
towards
be-
the east corner?
Yeah, southeast corner of the
Southeast
building.
corner,
Yes, a
okay.
great big room with the divider in it.
Yep. okay.
And then that will leave one office open on it'd be the northeast corner, another one of these small offices, which if there is no plans to fill it, I have thought about moving my lab equipment in there for materials testings and stuff like that. So it is all in one location and I'm not having to go back and forth between the shop. I know it's only a couple minutes, but there's a lot of things that take time that if we're all centralized, I could continue working on paperwork while other things are happening in the lab that take time.
We have this building, we have this space, and it should be utilized like this, and that other building is falling down. It's in bad shape.
If you want to sell it,
It's in, well, but a lot of people
Yeah,
would
don't-
take,
don't-
they'll gut it and they'll start all over.
Yeah,
Because it's, the way it's put together, it needs to be gutted and whatever.
um, um, so right now, so if we just say, okay, maybe nothing gets done, but you want to move in there, just at that, let's say that's the scenario. You're gonna park down that far
Park
parking
down on the
lot,
south end.
come up through the basement and go around, or
Or
walk outside.
Up
whatever.
along up along the south
It
side.
is
of the
quite
building.
a,
Everybody could use a few more steps. I
Yeah.
believe the wellness, our Fitbits.
are you ready, JD? Are you ready for that, to carry the boxes in? Because I'm just saying that is gonna be a little bit of a jaunt, so. Well, so you think office furniture and
We have plenty of
Basically,
file
that's it.
cabinets and things like that. We won't need to purchase any of those, and those are probably the majority of the expenses would be purchasing all new file cabinets, which we don't need to do. So it is literally be a desk for JD, which he currently is using what I would consider Walmart special desks. They're all sagging in the middle and probably as old as that office building. My desk, which is too short. Lisa's desk is too short for her. And the desk that the weed commissioner is currently sitting in, I'm pretty sure is a dresser that's just been turned sideways with a drawer taken out of it.
do we have, there's certain tables and desks in certain places around, there's
Probably not much left.
Cause there was, I know there was some in the past, there's been some in the basement,
I've
different
spoken to
places.
Troy Spinks about that,
Asked
and he
about what
says
there is.
there's,
I don't think there's much left.
the only thing that he
Normally
says
get
is
rid of it.
left, there is some cubicle partitions that are currently stored in the annex building, which we'll have no use for. We will reuse as much as we can.
So there's no, there's no parking lot, no nothing, just come in the one that's there and use the space that's up there, not being used.
Yes.
I think the whole getting up there issue, whether it be a lift or whatever it is gonna be an expensive issue and maybe, that's the thing we gotta think through if we have to do that,
Well,
or whoever, whatever.
I think
down the
let's
road.
get 'em
once,
moved
once
and
they
then let's
move,
work
it's
on
gonna
it.
have to be done.
Yeah,
I
Well,
mean,
so-
it's,
yeah.
so,
Better have an idea what we're getting into, because if that ends up being way more than what we think, that might not be such a great move then. I understand you moving over there isn't a big deal, but if it causes a whole bunch of other things to happen. Because if it gets up this, I'm afraid the way this looks, time we got done with this, parking lots and training walls and architects, it's gonna be 6 figures to get that done. I worry.
I don't know.
I don't
And-
either, but I have a fear.
What I did talk to Kelsey Vetter, she is the architect listed for this project.
Mhm.
I talked to her this morning because there were some things in there that I was unsure of. It made it look like they were gonna do a bunch of interior remodeling as well. That is not any on their scope of work at all. The floor plans and the schematic plans are simply to add the door. If they
Mhm.
change an existing wall, a floor plan has to reflect that. So that's why their floor plans and things like that are in this proposal, is because they are changing an existing wall and that needs to be reflected in some sort of floor plan.
Mm.
I know, Judy, you had mentioned issues of drainage of the neighbors of the area. If we go with the retaining wall option, all of that can be graded to drain completely to the south. That will not be an issue to change the grade of that. There will be no drainage off the north side of that parking lot. Although she did mention to me this morning that the retaining wall and building it up is the significantly more expensive option. So they have already started to establish prices and they know which one's gonna be the cheapest. And she says the stairs and the ramp is significantly less, as I thought it would be as well, because there's not nearly as much structural things involved with that. But this was basically the contract to state, yes, go ahead and let's work through our concerns. And then you give us the plan set that we best want, that suits our needs at the price point that we're okay with paying. If you guys would like to do that. If not, it's entirely up to you, obviously. But I would very much like to see our office move over there in the amount of time that we have.
I
with
understand that.
little
That my problem is moving before we know, it's like moving and not knowing our numbers. I don't like that if we have to do it. That's my thought. I wanna know what it is before I say, okay, go move all your stuff over there. Cause
Now,
what if it
on
gets,
on the flip side of that, if I may play devil's advocate, to bring our existing office up to the same standards that the current office is going to be relatively the same cost.
Mhm.
So one way or another, if you're going to make ADA improvements to a newer, better building, or if you're going to sink money into an older, falling apart building,
Now, how many years have we been in that building? I'm not sure. The building, how long has it been?
the county purchased that building in, I just looked at it today,
70s,
1974, 1976,
50
or
years.
something like that.
yeah.
But
And no ADA, we've not had a issue, I guess, with people.
we have not had
Using
an
it.
issue in it, no. But
So
But it is difficult to get in.
I got my tax bill the other day and everybody did. And I've had lots of phone calls and it's insane what our taxes are. And I understand nicer, getting some better things you might want, but I'm very cautious about this. I don't want to spend, if you can move over there and not spend a dime, really, I might go along with that, but I'm not to do anything. I don't want to spend any money. I'd rather put it in tubes, bridges,
may I ask a
roads.
question?
Yeah, go
Was
ahead.
there ARPA money spent on upgrading the courthouse facilities? So could
Yes.
the ARPA money that is, you
It
said the
could be,
JD
but
is
we're gonna
laying
use
around.
it, in my opinion, we're gonna use it, go out to
But
the
what-
people,
what
because
I
they pay
was
the
referencing-
taxes.
What I was referencing was
Yeah.
to these small costs that we were talking about, office furniture.
Mhm.
Could we use the ARPA money to purchase small amount of ARPA,
Right.
office furniture to not affect the taxes at all?
But by
Because
taking that money from there, we're taking it off the roads and off of people, taxpayers, where they go out to make the money, pay the taxes.
You're
I
not, you're not gonna get any infrastructure road project done for $10,000.
You put it towards.
Towards it, I
something,
understand
yeah.
that, I'm trying to
Uh,
make sense on both ends.
Since 1974, I've been using building grant. I'm okay with looking at some space that's used. I get that, but it's not, the sky's not falling. I mean, we can work around this and try to
Let's,
be as economic again, but I don't want to shove all the boxes over there and then realize it's
let's,
gonna be.
let's give the people who work in the engineer's office a better space to work, where the lights aren't flickering, the internet is dependable,
We've had,
and the lighting is good, and it's a good place to come to work.
As
And
long-
you're not going into the bathroom where there are files and other things in there. And you don't knock your knees onto bricks that are holding up a desk. You know, this is a ridiculous thing to have to go to work and deal with every day.
I don't want to do anything.
And what'd you
on the
say,
cost.
JD?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I don't want to just let,
unfortunately,
I just as soon move them there and have it
you gotta know,
there and then
see.
yes.
in order to figure it
Because
out,
there's different
you-
things that can be done.
Could you come up with like, I know you're talking about some office furniture and stuff. Could you maybe get a list worked up?
I already have, I don't have it with me, but I know it was less than $10,000.
Okay. So, but
I think it was
So desks and
Seven.
chairs,
desk, chairs, and a conference table and a few chairs to go around it is all we're asking for.
now.
And then the phones that Corey says are needed for the upstairs.
So, yeah, I'd like to see that, because, you know, we have meetings in here, we meet every week, we do things, we've sat around these tables. We gotta be real practical here.
I
I mean,
understand.
folding
And
chairs
if I may,
will work, tables will work.
if I may, you have meetings up here. This is your office, if I'm not mistaken,
Kind
correct in
of,
that?
we don't really have an
My-
office, but yeah,
But
That's
for
what we
lack of a
mean.
better term, this is where you go to work for
Yeah.
the Board of Supervisors. Where I go to work
Mhm.
every day is not this. If that makes sense. You have a phone, a computer, a nice desk that you sit at 1 to 2 days a week.
Mhm.
I go in and I bang my knees on my desk 4 times a week.
Well, it's okay to look into a desk that'll work. If you need another block or brick, I mean, I understand, get you a desk that'll work, but I'd like to see these costs, because we had some chairs come through a few years ago, they did use ARPA money on, but I voted against, there were $5,000.
He's telling you what he's got, Jacob.
Huh?
He's told you that he's got this cost.
I know, I
Yeah.
said, like to see it, that's all I'm saying, we need to look at that.
He's told you.
you can bring it in.
Yeah, we haven't seen
He
it.
can, he's telling you what he's got.
Yeah.
He has the cost.
We're gonna look at
He's
it.
worked a cost.
Yeah, we're
Less
gonna
than
have a look at
$7,000
it.
to $8,000 probably.
I'd
More
like
than
to
likely.
see that, but then we need to see the money. I'm not for doing anything till we see what's a ballpark idea what we're spending. I don't wanna move and then see what it's gonna be. So, but that doesn't have to take a long time.
Well, and then what I was wondering is like, okay, so we get the costs of stuff that they need to update their office furniture and things. Get them and then figure out where that money's gonna come from, well, how we're gonna pay for that. And then, could they move over and then us not really have to do anything as far as design work or anything else outside until spring? Possibly, or not. You-
And Nick also mentioned a chairlift. We could put a chairlift to go up that rail too.
I know
And that'd be a cheap one.
my grandmother has a chairlift that goes
Yeah.
from her first floor down to her basement so she can do her laundry. I know the Methodist Church over in Newmarket has a double chairlift,
Yep.
and I'm pretty sure those were done for
We-
around
we-
$5,000.
We had one in our church too, and it just goes right up the rail.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Well, that's a good option to look at. So why don't we see what all these options are, because don't wanna get in some great big expensive thing after the fact, so. I guess look into a chairlift, look into some options and see if we wanna go forward with it.
May I
So,
email you
and-
guys?
yeah,
tomorrow the-
I would
Yeah.
like to see
Office list.
itemized list of what all we need to get.
Okay.
And then also then I'd like to try to figure out where we're gonna take it out of what money is available
I
to
believe-
spend on that.
Okay,
And I mean,
yeah,
how
we
do,
can get all that together for you, and I will
Can you
send it
find the
out.
cost of a chairlift too?
I can start doing some research. I wouldn't know where to begin, but I'll start making some phone calls.
that sound fair? And then.
Let's get some
maybe-
dollars put together before we do anything.
Okay,
That's where I'm at.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Okay. Okay. Oh,
Jerry.
yeah.
My name is Carrie Preble, and I actually live right to the north of this building. And I got a phone call the other day to, that this was gonna be on the agenda for this evening. I am strongly against the parking lot next door, because of the amount of dirt that will be brought in and where that door would be placed. Right now, I currently have an 8-foot hedge that I can see over the top of. That door sits above that hedge. So that means everybody will be able to see inside of my home. And also, the way that that parking lot would set, it would set actually above my property line. And so that's where my drainage issues came in. And then just the concern of the egress and the entrance and the exit into that particular property. So where people would come in to the parking lot and then where they would exit from that parking lot. And then also for snow removal. And where are they gonna push it? They're probably gonna push it to the north. So then that potentially comes onto my property, and then the way that drainage down between my building and my house and the annex building, it was an old alleyway. And that actually sits very low with that particular property, and the building's windows sit they're probably only about a foot off of the dirt back there. So that would be a concern for me as a taxpayer, that you have potential drainage into the building, into the basement of that building. So those are just some of my issues or concerns. Just that people can see inside my home and that it's built up above my property there. So, but I do like the idea of having somebody occupy that building. I feel safer, knowing that I have neighbors that would, can oversee my property during the day when I'm gone. So, any potential hazards or anything like that, but that's just kind of what I wanted to talk about. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep, thanks.
All those things would need to be taken into consideration. If they do the dirt work. Thanks for coming in and talking about that tonight. Okay. What do we have next here? We have the solar ordinance. I dug out my binder. Found it. Do we have any, get that fired back up here. Do we have any memories of exactly where we left off? We're basically done. I think. I have the Mills County ones, the one we were using, and I have all my edits on here that we talked about.
And I thought we were pretty close to,
What we have here with all these notes. You guys have the same thing. We need to basically edit this out, send it to. You have yours?
yeah,
So I've handwritten everything in here. We need to adjust it to Page County. And then have it reviewed. Just need to get this kicked off here.
Yeah.
First page there, do you see that on the Mills County one? We had at the bottom of it.
that's this one, right? That I marked up?
Yes,
Okay.
we had there.
Cause I
on the-
I went through and changed most of the Mills County stuff.
Yeah, you got that all. I don't know.
There's
if I-
some I missed, I see,
if I
as I was
printed
going
them.
through it, but
Did you go through and already change the names and everything in it and adjust
Yeah.
it. I didn't print that one. I have my old one.
There's some I missed, so I'll have to go back.
Well, then. Do you want to
But I can
resend that and then we'll,
resend that to everybody and,
I don't have that one. I have the
and
handwritten.
update all those changes and then we can talk about
Just
that.
go
and
through
then-
it.
Yeah,
Any other changes, then we can have it looked in. Is that the one you had the green and the red and all that on?
Yeah, it had green and red and yellow,
yeah.
or blue and red, yellow and blue. is
I've
what you
still got
had.
all my hand notes on all this, so. We just need to get that kind of condensed and agreed on and
Okay, I'll resend it.
You're gonna take all the stuff out that you want?
Yeah, yep,
Okay.
I'll remove all the stuff and try to get
Okay.
it to a final format
Okay.
and send it out. And then if you guys wanna make notes and changes and
Okay.
we'll go from
just
there.
go
How's
page
that
by
sound?
page.
Sounds
Yep.
good.
Well, let's do that next week then.
Okay,
Okay,
try to get that out to you by Monday.
Sounds good.
Alright,
okay. Well, I guess we'll do that. I have my hand notes.
Yeah.
All right, board communication. This Monday at 4, getting our agendas ready, I send out tomorrow
You what?
for
Oh,
the Monday
for the
meeting for the
second
election.
canvas.
Monday at 4?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just making sure we're all good with that. Send out the
Okay,
agenda
it
tomorrow.
just, it's only gonna take a few minutes for that canvas.
So can I ask a
So-
question? Cause I know Melissa had said that we could Zoom.
Right.
How would we do that with the canvas, I guess? How
Just
do I?
zoom in and zoom out. She said it'd take like 3 minutes.
Okay,
But are we
but I
gonna-
mean, I wouldn't have the ticket in front of me, so I wouldn't be able to read anything, right?
No, it's just one.
Okay,
It's
so,
just-
just Taylor County.
okay,
Taylor County, yeah.
oh,
yeah.
okay, okay, yep,
Yeah.
that's fine. Yeah, I can make that work.
Does that work? Do you want to zoom in or you want?
Yeah, if I can Zoom.
But do
that'd
we
be
need
great,
to meet
'cause
with
it's-
the attorney?
I don't
I-
know. I thought about
We
that
need to
too.
make a
I don't think
decision.
he's sent anything out yet, or
He
he
did.
sent something, but
He
I
did.
don't think he's got a response back, right?
We have to make a decision which one we want him to send.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
yep, I saw that he'd sent some. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, but.
And I
Yeah, have
think
you
we-
already sent your response?
No, because I think
Or
we
do
need to do that, and then I think we have to make a decision and we have to meet, decide, and then do it in open session, I think, as to which one we want to do.
So it needs to be on the agenda?
I think we
Well,
have to,
how about
I
this?
think we have to
Just,
do that.
Maybe throw it on there just so it's there. How about that?
Do
Just
what?
just have it on the agenda in case we need it. But then you need to be available. We can put it on the agenda Monday if we want, just to make, in case whether it happens or not, we can, if
Do we need a closed session Monday? Or do we?
That's-
possibly,
Yeah,
Possibly.
so it can be on there, and if we don't do it.
And I guess if we do, then I can come. I'll just try to be over here,
okay,
get out of work.
because I think we have to give him direction.
Yeah. Okay,
Mhm. Well, then maybe we'll just add that, and we'll just see if it is necessary, we'll do it, if not, we won't, so. Okay. Possible. Okay,
So Monday at 4.
yes.
the, claims, I didn't see those, I don't have any
There's
claims.
no claims, I don't
Okay.
think.
Okay. Here's some minutes here, oh, here two, sorry. Oh, copies. Corey.
So we'll work on the solar ordinance next Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see here, got them,
Oh, wait a minute, I have a Wabansie meeting next week, okay.
I have a Zion meeting Monday
okay,
to Zoom into. I think that's all I have.
got the minutes here, let's do the minutes and more.
Make a motion that we approve the amended minutes to meet Iowa Public Information Board guidelines as presented to the clerk in this meeting, and these minutes to be published in the Page County Board of Supervisor Minute Book.
I'll second that motion. Oh, ready?
Mayor,
Yes.
Holmes,
Yes,
Clark.
No,
okay, motion carried. All right, so we'll get ready for Monday, and that's all I've got, so a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we're adjourned.